The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you go over the top rope, and then you bang your head on the ring apron. Oh, that's when you feel like a big dope, 'cause they're the worst bumps you can be taking. Oh yeah, it's the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Sometimes you reach out for that hot tag, but then you go ahead and make your own comeback. Why do you do that? That's when you should quit wrestling, and you're better off rolling in thumbtacks. AEW, the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Now double claps. The hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da. Whoa! We got jokers cracking wise. Weisenheimer's on the up and up. Hooligans on the straight and narrow. Dames are flipping their lids. It's the bottom of the ninth. The bases are loaded. 2 strikes, 2 outs. It's a scorch out there. And the Brooklyn Dodgers win the series 23 skidoo. Bam. It's a podcast. Hey, it's Bob Squad. What's going on? It's me, Bob. Doing the hardest part of the ring. Doing NXT this week. NXT on Tuesday, April 20th. It's 420, man. It's NXT 420, man. Yeah, well, you would have had to have been high to understand the logic of NXT on April 20th. I don't know, is this the first or the second? So this is the second one that's on a Tuesday, away from AEW. And I don't recall seeing Hulk Hogan slam Andre the Giant. Maybe I was making a sandwich, but maybe he did. Well, he did in '87. So he definitely did. I'm saying maybe they aired it. You understand. I don't have to tell you guys. You're hip to the scene. You're down like a clown out of here like Vladimir, chilling like Bob Dylan on penicillin. You know what I'm talking about. I'm hip with the kids. You know the kids, you give them the hula hoops and the moon pies. They give them a nickel. They watch the movie picture, roller skate to Makeout Mountain, drive home in Dad's Corvette. You know the kids. The convertible. Okay. The new intro is the same song that Poppy was screaming at the Stand and Deliver on one of those on night 1, I believe. That's when she Gwen Stefani the rest of her band. And oh, so between the poppies and the 420s, we are all kinds of high. We got barbiturates and opioids, and we just started the program. And yeah, I must have been on some kind of drugs, because Kyle O'Reilly shows up, and he's got new entrance music. Oh, he's going to win, even though he's cutting a promo. And there's gears. There's just gears turning in the back of his video package for his entrance. There's just gears. I didn't understand what that meant. I think Wade Barrett sort of explained it later on. But and Kyle O'Reilly, he's acting kind of weird and goofy and extra douchey, but he's a baby face. I was a little confused, but then it started to make sense later. So Beth Phoenix and the other people started referring to him as Cool Kyle, and I shuddered because I'm like, I just don't. A moniker is one thing, but don't make that. I hope that's not his new name. I hope they don't change his ring name to Cool Kyle, because no one's going to get behind Cool Kyle or find Cool Kyle very threatening. But I'll mention that later, too. Anyway, Cameron Grimes comes out, and he's still got a lot of money. And he's entertaining. Not everything he does is my cup of tea, but he's awake. And he commits to what he does, so I like Grimes. They do a very obvious setup here, where Grimes asks Kyle to let Grimes invest in Kyle and make more money, and Kyle says, well, we should start with my opponent tonight. I wonder who it is. Boy, a little obvious. And Kyle was good here. He's likable. He's still got that weird little hipstery voice. I don't know about his voice, but I like him a lot. His wrestling's great. Until he talks and you go, oh. Like, you know, when you ever see Suburban Commando when The Undertaker has a cameo? And he has like a child's voice. He goes, you're dead meat, Ramsey. And I don't know what that's guy that never did. That's why that guy never talks or whatever the fuck. Like, Kyle O'Reilly kind of does that between his matches and his voice, but whatever. I can't throw too many stones with the voice. I sound like Ray Romano fucked Kermit the Frog. So anyway, we show all 3 announcers, and they are... Oh, yeah, Kyle punches Grimes, and they're going to wrestle later. Okay. So I don't know what happens here. There's 3 announcers, and they throw us to outside earlier today, where Sarray And there's a motorcycle outside. Sorry shows up in a parking lot, and sorry they did this. I'm gonna do that forever. By the way, this is the new Legion of Gimmicks or the new Sloppy Blackheart. I'm just gonna say sorry for everything. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay. Shawn Michaels tweeted his excitement about the debut of Sorry, and I wrote, and no one replied. He wrote, I wrote, I'm sorry, I love you. You know, because of his Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels goodbye thing. Okay. Mark, you got it. Okay. So anyway. So Sorry runs into Zoe Stark, and I'm sorry she did. Because Zoe Stark, for no reason, shows up and asks if she can be the one. She says, I know Regal, I know Mr. Regal, you have a match lined up for Saray already, but I'd like to be the one to wrestle her tonight. Well, right away, that makes no sense. You just said yourself. You contradicted yourself in your own sentence. I know she has a match tonight, but I want to wrestle her. Well, fuck you. But no, she has a match tonight. They never said who it was because it was nobody. So then Regal says, okay, Zoe, you can wrestle Saray. And when you get kicked in the head, you'll be sorry. No, she will. Okay. I'm going to keep doing this. I can't get past this. I watched someone. I wish Bobby Heenan was announcing this because it would become a giant who's on first routine, which isn't necessarily good for wrestling, but man, just something to make this fun. So Zoe Stark politely asked to wrestle her, sorry, and they agree, of course, and they shake hands and bow at the same time. Because I don't think Zoe knew what to do, which is kind of funny. So anyway, they make this match for later. L.A. Knight is backstage, and while he's walking, he cuts a great promo right off the bat. Let me talk to you. And he tells everyone why they had to gang up on him at the stand and deliver, and what he's going to do to this goof, and why he's the greatest. Not a damn thing sounded scripted. Looked right at the camera, like a man. Looked great. Promo class. Everyone pull up a seat. Every time LA Knight talks, he hasn't cut a bad promo yet. He will someday. He'll be on Raw or SmackDown, and they will have him never talk again, like they because he reminds me of Bobby Roode, whatever. He reminds me of that Robert Roode guy in a lot of ways, and they won't know what to do with him either. LA Knight wrestles Dexter Lumis. LA Knight, after teaching everyone how to cut a promo, teaches everyone how to wrestle a pro wrestling match. He gives Lumis a tackle. We never see this anymore. He gives Lumis a tackle. And normally, I'm going to spill some beans here. Pull up a chair for wrestling school. When you give someone a tackle, traditionally, chest to chest and slap. I'll explain that some of it. That's not important right now. But you make if you're given the tackle, you make eye contact with the guy who just took the bump. The reason is he needs to know if you're about to run to your right or straight ahead, because you probably tackled him. You definitely should have tackled him with your left shoulder to left shoulder. So are you going to your right or are you going straight ahead? Now on Raw, this is very important, and Randy Orton is an Edge, and AJ and Charlotte are all Sheamus. I mean, pretty much everyone on that show, those two shows, are gods at this. Especially because with hard cameras and everything else. But Dolph, of course, the people I just named are just ultimately gods at this. But everyone does it really well. You don't get on that show without doing that really well, whoever you are. So, but you don't always have to run to the goddamn rope. It's predictable. Everyone knows that. Every wrestling fan, even subconsciously, because they're just waiting for a table or something stupid. It's lock-up, headlock, the universal spot, they would call it. It has probably other names, but the universal spot is lock-up, headlock, shoot 'em off, tackle, drop down, leapfrog, hip toss, arm drag, drop kick. And the guy who took the drop kick takes the head this time. Right? Because if you're taking the head the first time, you're giving a tackle, that means you're taking all the bumps. Right, so if you took the drop kick, you would actually get headlock. You wouldn't take the headlock. Okay. Got all that? LA Knight. Sorry, I just went way off the rails. LA Knight knowing you don't have to do the predictable running for a drop down and go into a spot, which everyone thinks is about to happen. Just goes into a cover. And in this case, he did that jackknife cover. I don't know why they call it that, where you put your head in a guy's legs and you roll forward. Doesn't matter. You can do a regular cover. Sometimes in my later days when I wrestled in San Diego, even though most of it was Pennsylvania, I retired for 5 years and then I thought I was done. I'm never done. I would tackle a guy, make the eye contact, start to run to my right. As soon as he turns over, kick him in the back, stomp on his back. Or when I was a babyface, or when I was kind of like playing in the middle, I do the tackle, make the eye contact, start to run. He would drop down. I drop right on top of him for the headlock. So it's legal, but it's not. Well, the stomp is legal too, but it's like dirty legal, where the headlock is moral and legal. You know what I mean? So LA Knight knows what he's doing, teaching everyone how to wrestle a match, and he takes a backdrop, which you don't see anymore. And he takes a huge, beautiful backdrop. He got all the height possible you can get off a big, tall drink of water like Dexter Loomis. Beautiful. Oh man, warmed my heart. Warmed my heart. And after he takes that backdrop, he backs crotch first into the ring post. And they're having a great pro wrestling match. A little nitpick up until this point is on all the WWE brands that the baby faces tend to like. There's not much heat. I don't mean heat that the heel causes with promos. I mean heat during a match. Like the heel's heat is never that long in these TV matches anyway. I bet you when the house shows were a thing, they were longer. But man, they like to skip that part, which just makes no sense because there's nothing to cheer for. But I don't get it. So you got to come back from something. How you gonna shine for a few minutes? Take one move and then mount a comeback. What are you coming back from? Nothing. You're fucking with a flaccid wiener here. What the fuck are you? Ooh, I'm in a mood. Okay. So anyway, this match is going great. This is one of the favorite NXT regular TV matches I've seen in a long time. Whenever my last favorite was probably whenever LA Knight wrestled. And Indy Hartwell, I forgot. That's right. The story of this match is really the romance between Indy Wrestling and Dexter Loomis. And they do like a hand thing. They touch hands through the plexiglass, like the Flash and his dad in both cuts of Justice League. And now that LA Knight disappears, so the two of them can stare at each other, but Indy Hartwell is not a great actress, and Dexter Loomis is Dexter Loomis. So Indy's staring at him. It looks like she's mad at him, like she's trying to look like she's lusting after him, but it doesn't make a lot of sense. And Dexter's staring at her. And then LA Knight hits his finish on Dexter as Dexter steps back to the ropes. And Dexter doesn't take the face bump at all. He never touches the mat. He actually rolls. Because he tries to do a forward roll, like a head bump, which is a big mistake. Just take the regular face bump. Take the regular fucking face bump. And the only camera shot they got of it was the worst possible one to expose that Loomis never touched. He actually rolled on top of it. If anything, LA Knight took the brunt of that. But anyway, Knight gets the 1, 2, 3. I give the match 9,000 stars. So hopefully this is just done with for LA Knight and he can move on to somebody else. I don't know if they're gonna put him with the Kushida guy. What other baby faces are there anymore? I mean, if they put him with Finn, he'll lose for sure. Finn will probably just take a few weeks. He'll show up later or something, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. What's next? Does he finish his Bronson Reed thing? Probably not. Oh, and what did I give this? I gave it 9,000 stars. Oh, the way shows up. Oh, that's right, because Indy Hartwell and Dexter Loomis are about to kiss, and Indy's standing on the ring apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. And the way the Garganos have to be all over every fucking episode. Xia Li never makes a goddamn episode. Of Hulu, anyway. And, the way is always on these things. Always, always, always. So the Garganos run off with Indy Hartwell because they're like her parents for some reason. I don't understand. Beth Phoenix and Io Shirai are having a wonderful backstage interview. Io Shirai did way better than I thought she was going to do with like the English sentences. The way her promos have been edited where she just says a line or two of mostly Japanese and like one line of English to cap it off at the end. Um, Shirai just speaks English a lot better than I thought she could, and she did very well. She was answering Beth's questions. I think they were using the video next to Beth when Beth would be talking about a match to kind of explain to Io, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about this. I think it was kind of a cheat, but that's good. It protects her because Io Shirai's a fucking babyface. Protect her. Don't make her look dumb. It kills me when Asuka. I'm gonna go off on a tangent here. I'm getting a little nervous with the way they're having heels talk to Asuka, or the faces we make. Okay, so no one else on the show speaks Japanese. I'm talking about Raw here. And yeah, I'm sure maybe one or two of them probably, Akira Tozawa, and I don't know, but I'm just saying that they don't speak. No one speaks Japanese, hardly anyone. Um, it seems like the joke is she speaks Japanese and we don't, and it's getting a little. It's on the line for me. I'm getting a little uncomfortable with it. I liked what Charlotte did with. I loved Charlotte's promo before she got to the part with Asuka. Yeah, I think Charlotte in the last 2 weeks is just. I'm a huge fan of Charlotte, so um, everything she does is so great. But with the way they have her going, Asuka like talking slowly as if she's dumb, as if not being able to speak great English makes you dumb, and she. Um, I don't know. I'm not. I'm not feel. I think they've taken advantage of having Asuka yell in Japanese and no one get what she's saying, and it kind of sounds funny to us. And they're kind of leaning on it. It's getting a little uneasy. Not to the level that Jinder Mahal and then was with the Shinsuke Nakamura promos like 3, 4 years ago. Wow, it's been a long time. Those are really bad, but it's not getting there. But I don't know. My comfort level is starting to wane on those. Anyway, the Frankie Monet, who was Ty something Valkyrie and some of the Impact or whatever, she shows up with the dog and she's kind of like backhanded compliment Beth. I used to watch you when I was a kid, and Beth made the perfect face. See, this is WWE is so bad at subtlety, and subtlety is what makes pro wrestling so great. You see it in Star Trek: The Next Generation all the time. If Riker makes a dumb comment and Troy might make a face or something like that, that's all you need. Or Data's obvious pretending to understand a very human situation. It's just it's all you need. Vince hates subtlety, and if the segment happened on Raw, Beth wouldn't make like a little like half second. Did she just kind of face? Instead, it would be this huge blow up, and it would take 3 minutes longer, and everything like Beth would have to be like, like I can't believe you, like you know what I mean? It would just be so overdone, and so the Frankie Monet insults Io Shirai, basically trying to say, "Oh, you were great, but anyway, I'm here and I'll be better, so don't worry about it." And then Io Shirai said she liked cats better because Frankie Monet has a dog, and then stormed off. I thought that was odd, but you can't have the baby face slap the heel while she's holding a dog, which is why I was kind of intrigued by it when I saw her last week. I'm like, oh, okay, because they're not going to have the baby faces attack her when she's holding an animal. It's almost like while she's holding a baby or something. But they're trying to make the dog the heel. Like what? No. Is the dog supposed to get heat? No, it's supposed to be in heat. Okay. If that dog's in any heat, it's the only heat on the show anyone's got except for LA Knight. Alrighty. So they're setting up Io and Frankie Monet. Tony Stark wrestles Zoe Stark. Match gets 9,000 stars. I hated it. Um, we're trying to get Sare over as likable and yada yada, so we put her against a babyface right off the bat, which I don't get. Zoe is way too competitive, which I knew was going to happen. It was too long. It was too 50-50. It did not make Sare look dominant or super powerful. I think if I had my druthers, at least on Hulu, we would have seen Xia Li buzzsaw through a few more. until she can't buzzsaw through a debuting Saray, and not even in a match, just a confrontation to make us want to see the match for whenever the hell the next Stand and Deliver or Takeover, excuse me, the next Takeover, whatever the hell it is. I would just do that, and not because they're both Asian. I know that's how it sounds and that's how it looks, and I get it, but because we need a force to reckon with that isn't the champion, and with Mrs. Gargano, Candice LeRae, the Gargano lady, doing whatever. And she's my favorite one of the group, by the way. But she's always in like a more faction-based drama feud than a direct women's feud. Xia Li would be the buzzsaw that isn't Raquel that Sare can get in the face of and say, hey, you went through Casey Catanzaro and you blew pot smoke in their partner's face or whatever the hell happened that one week. And you beat up Zoe Stark, I hope, or something like that. And, but I'm standing in the way, and what are you going to do about it? And whoever the hell is one of Xia Li's minions, or not or managers, whatever the hell, can pull her away from the thing. So you do that. Create an intrigue here. Here, Sare has a 50-50 match with Zoe Stark, who thankfully did not do the indie slide into the middle of the ring thing. But so Sare wins with like a kick or something. I don't know. Hits some moves and kicks her, bids her. I don't fucking know. Tony Storm shows up and puts Zoe Stark. I always said Zoe Clark. Tony Storm shows up. And she, I always forget she's there. I'm a big Tony Storm fan. I always forget she wrestles there. I don't know why this is. She throws Zoe. She beats up Zoe. And Sare just stands in between the two of them. And just holds Zoe's shoulder. And stares at Tony, but not really. So Sare is basically, and I hate to, and again, I'm now being hit because I hate to compare her to another Japanese wrestler, but debuting what she's doing, that's pretty much how Kushida debuted. He was pretty much the same guy. He was a super nice guy who won competitive matches and acted really nice. I think they, I don't know. I think they kind of blew it here. We're clearly setting up some kind of tag or a Tony Storm Sare match. Of course, before Zoe gets attacked, they did like a handshake or hug or whatever. They're like, okay, we're splitting the audience here. There's a blonde lady talking to Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai, and it's weird how Raquel's cutting like a good guy and a bad guy promo at the same time. Dakota, is clearly on one side, and then she was great. I don't know if I like Raquel saying, hey, EO is a great champion, blah, 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 and let me pronounce one word in Spanish. Like, well, I don't get that. I liked her on her way to the championship. What happened? She's not being a badass bitch. I just see all these photos of her on Twitter smiling and hugging everybody. I'm like, what are you're a badass bitch. You put Rhea Ripley through the ramp. I want to see that. I want to see everybody hug. You should only be friendly with Dakota Kai. That's your buddy. Everybody else, you should. They want what you have, and you have what is the most cherished prize. You have the NXT Women's Championship, and they're all trying to take it from you. You should be the hungrier and more aggressive than ever before. Kushida has an open challenge, and he wrestles Oni Lorcan for the 205 or the Cruiserweight or whatever, the purple title. And Kushida wins. He taps him out with a maneuver with the arms or something. He's barefoot this time. No more Michael J. Fox Back to the Future outfit. He's got tights. And I give the match 7 million stars. It was alright. Here's obvious booking 101. Santos comes out and his goons attack Kushida from behind. And Memorial Sloan Kettering, the Midget Street Crew in very, very lime green shirts like John Cena in 2014. The MSK runs out to clean house, and there's your obvious 6-man for next week or the week after. Whenever the hell they do that. Kyle O'Reilly is backstage and he walks past Scarlett and the other guy who has the championship, Karrion Kross, and there's a little bit of a stare down. Kyle did mention Karrion Kross in his promo earlier, so we're gearing up to some kind of Kyle Kross match. Which I guess who else is left really if Cole's supposed to be out for a bit and Finn is nowhere to be found. Who is your only contender for Kross? Pretty much Kyle is your only guy. Kyle wrestles Cameron Grimes, of course, and the gears. So Wade Barrett mentions the gears, and he said, "Oh, Kyle is picking it up to a sixth gear." I thought maybe that's why there's gears in the background of this thing. So if Kyle has new music and he cuts a promo and he wrestles his match and of course he wins it, that means you heard that music 4 times today and I still don't know how it goes. He does a knee off the top. He jumps off the top rope and knees you in the back. Hits the 1, 2, 3. I kind of dig it. I mean, a big thing you can, because a lot of his stuff is cool that he beats you with, but it's very out of nowhere and it can be hard for. I'm imagining like a live big crowd trying to follow along, and the knee off the top rope is clearly you see a guy climbing up the top rope. You kind of know you can anticipate it more, so that's kind of fun. I think it's why Tony Schiavone once said in one of those things. The only thing he didn't like about War Games was, well, a couple of things. As an announcer, those things are murder because they're hard to call. But um, the submission only rule in the old War Games, he wasn't a fan of because in those days they didn't even tap. The referee just said he gave up, so the fans just wait for a bell, and that can be very anticlimactic. So the 1, 2, 3 lets people count along and yada yada yada. So um, old school fans might hate this. I'm gonna go modern here. Yeah, the 1, 2 having a 1, 2, 3 is so much better. Especially those matches are so chaotic. I mean, if there's 8 or 10 wrestlers in there run around like all doing something, it's how do you focus on one person if they're giving up? Except in WWE, the camera will be in the right place, but if you're there live, you know you have to watch the screen right above it to know what. Well, you shouldn't have to watch the screen above it. You're watching it. But, yeah, I don't know. Kyle O'Reilly wins. That's NXT 420 for you. As well it should have been. That would have been easier to get through. So I hope you enjoyed my recap of hardest part. This is one of those. This is one of these episodes. The hardest part of the ring. It's not so much an entertaining episode. It's an episode. If you didn't feel like watching this show, I'll tell you what happened. And if anything that I reported back to you on the Hulu edition of the 420 NXT, if any of that sounded intriguing, now you can go back and watch it on yourself. You can watch it on Hulu for $7.99 a month with limited commercial interruption, with original programming on Hulu, plus all your favorite television shows and movies. Hulu, it's TV in the palm of your hand. Today's hardest part of the ring was brought to you by Diet Dr. Pepper. It tastes just like regular Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper. Enjoy it. My name is Bob, and while Indy Hartwell may have been pulled off of it, I'm glad we didn't see any really stupid bumps on the hardest part of the ring. The hardest part of the ring. Ba-da-ba-da.